Hey friends, I wanted to share a little bit about our upcoming series, the Liturgy of Politics, but let me begin with an illustration from the Old Testament. Now, often in the Old Testament, large bodies of water represent chaos. The Spirit hovered over the chaotic uncreation of the deep in Genesis 1, and the destructive floods returned the earth into a state of uncreation later in Genesis 7. And I wonder if we might consider this narrative metaphor when we read the story of Israel crossing the Red Sea. God's people are stuck. The destructive, enslaving Egyptian empire behind them, the Red Sea churning before them. And what does God do? God makes a way. Parting the Red Sea, the people walk through on dry land with a wall of water on the left and the right. God provides a life-giving way with chaos piled up on the left and on the right. Now, this isn't the point the writers of Scripture intended, but I wonder if there might be something familiar in this reading of Exodus 14. Chaos piled up on the left and chaos raging on the right. Does that sound or feel familiar to you? But what if God has provided for us a redemptive way of life to walk? Now, we find ourselves today in a culture where we are being shaped by our political engagement. We're tempted to find our identity in our political affiliation. We view those on the other side with contempt. We form opinions based on memes and talking heads rather than prayer and discernment. We give in to the way of power and control rather than the Christ-like way of surrender and self-emptying love. We are being formed by our political engagement. I am being formed by my political engagement. We're being shaped in this way of chaos on the left and on the right. But God has made another way. Now, to be clear, this way of life, it's not the way of the moderate navigating the middle of the left and the right, progressive and conservative. The way of Jesus is a whole other way. And so this month, we are diving into a series called the Liturgy of Politics. And as you know, we are in the midst of an election season. Perhaps you're a little unsure about this series. Let me just hopefully satisfy some of your concerns and say that our intention is not to tell you how to vote or to convince you that one side is more right than the other. What if, instead of being shaped by our political engagement, we were shaped by the way of Jesus? And what if that formation guided the way we engaged politics? Instead of avoiding conversations about politics, what if we as a community sought to be so deeply formed by Jesus that we could engage politics in a different way? Now, I'm really excited about this series. For one, it's something that we desperately need to talk about, but I'm excited for how the series has come together. This Sunday, we're going to be joined by Caitlin Shess. Caitlin is a brilliant writer, thinker, and teacher. She is a regular co-host on the Holy Post podcast, and her book, The Liturgy of Politics, is really providing the framework for our whole series. Caitlin will frame up the series, and then our very own and newly christened PhD, Jason Hitchcock, is going to guide us as we explore the formational practices of community. And then Nicole Howe will help us to explore the formational practices of Scripture. Oh, and our friend Carolyn Ahrens will be with us to share some music as well on the 11th. I am so incredibly excited about this series, and I really hope that you'll join us.